Thank you for tuning in to MacReview Television, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Taiwan Outlook, the program that presents Taiwan to the rest of the world. And I'm your host, Wu Ruiguo. We all know that continued training and education of corporate employees is a very important factor for any business to grow. And on today's program, we're delighted to have Mr. Gerard Hei, who is the president of Dale Carnegie training programs here in Taiwan, to be our special guest to talk about their training programs and his experiences both as a trainer and also executive of this training program worldwide. Thank you and welcome to the program, Gerard.
Thank you, Dr. Wu. Hello, member of the audience.
Yes.
Yeah, my pleasure to be here.
Okay. Gerard, I'm going to start off with a question about your personal background.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, where'd you go to elementary and secondary school? And how did you like your experiences growing up here in Taiwan,
Yes.
as well as later in the U.S.?
Okay, yeah, I actually went to elementary school in Taiwan. I still remember my elementary school is called the Dafeng Guoxiao. It's in Xindian City.
Okay.
And it's just a very typical, normal elementary school in the suburban Taipei. But I had a really interesting experience where my father took us to the U.S. for almost 1 year because he had a contract where he needs to take a group of Air Force colonels to the U.S. for training.
Yes,
it's part of his program.
Okay, good.
And then so he got the company to support the whole family to go over to the U.S. For 1 year. I remember there was a big cultural shock there because
most definitely.
First
How
of all,
old were you?
I think I was in third grade.
Third grade.
Yeah,
You're about 10 years old.
Yeah, 9, 10 years old. And then I remember at that time, Bruce Lee, Li Xiaolong, was very popular. And then they all saw his movie. So all the American kids think I know Kung Fu.
Okay.
And then everyone wants to fight me, you know? And then I was like, what did I do to deserve this? And then after I learned English and explained to them, and they understand, oh, not all Chinese kids know Kung Fu.
That's right. So it was a big, cultural shock for you.
Yeah. And then we came back.
Okay.
And then we came back, and of course we have some catching up to do academically. And then I graduated from elementary school and went on to junior high.
Okay.
But I only studied there for 1 year.
Okay.
And then I moved with my family to the U.S.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you started your junior high school.
Yes.
In the States, how did that was that a big adjustment, or did you have to do a lot of things differently? In terms of not only managing your academic load, but also making friends. Was that something of a adjustment process for you?
Yeah, I think so because of course by then I have some background in English, so that was okay. But I just felt that it's very difficult to merge with the local environment. And I give you an example.
Please.
I about a week into school, I misplaced my bag with all the books and my assignments, so I couldn't find my school bag, my backpack. So I wanted to ask someone to help me.
Yes.
But I was, at that time, I don't know, I guess afraid or something, get into trouble. So I didn't ask, but it was, this thing really worries me, right? So, so I started crying in my table, and then I expect someone would notice. Yeah. Maybe the teacher or somebody, and then ask me what's going on.
Yeah, what was wrong?
What was wrong and help me.
Yeah.
But as it turned out, nobody really came over, to help me. So I realized that, in this new environment where everybody's expected to be independent, and you have to take care of your own problems.
Exactly.
And have the courage to speak out. Because I think in Taiwan, all I need to do is memorize and study the textbook really hard and do well on the exam.
Exactly.
Then I'm fine. I'm a good student. But I noticed that in the U.S., that's not really.
It's a different set
of
parameters.
Different. Yeah, it's not just doing this, but you need to be able to speak out. You need to express yourself and take care of your own problems.
Yes.
And that's really quite of a challenge for me, to be proactive in speaking out, and but the environment forced me to do that.
Yes, but I think that experience also was very helpful in your later years. You know, what we're going to talk about. You know, talk about that a little later.
Right.
But in terms of your personal maturation process, and also being a bicultural product,
right.
and later on for your career, I think we'll talk about that later also. But you came across people with different ethnicities, nationalities, and religious background. But later, Gerard, you went to school at UCLA.
Yes.
And then later at for your MBA degree at Yale University.
Yes.
Those are very prominent academic institutions in the U.S. And did you enjoy those experiences at those institutions? And did you have any memorable things that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, it's actually. In my high school, I had my best friend who is very good academically.
Okay.
So I kind of study with him, and and we hang out, spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
And at the end of our 11th grade, we need to start applying for college.
Okay.
And then he was applying to all these good colleges like Berkeley, UCLA, like Stanford, Harvard, and then I was thinking, since my friend is doing all this, why don't I just do the same?
Okay.
I mean, the worst thing that can happen to me is I get rejected.
Yeah, they say no.
Yeah, they say no, so it's okay. So I started to apply to all these prestigious colleges, which I don't think I qualify that
You're
much,
too modest.
at that time. And then UCLA put me on wait list, and they say, oh, we'll give you an answer later on.
Okay.
And then it turns out that they accepted too few students. And many students choose to go to other college instead of UCLA. So I actually made the wait list and I got into the college.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
yes.
So I learned that in life we should always try.
Yeah.
We should, because the worst thing that can happen is
people say no.
People say no,
Yeah.
then you don't lose anything.
No.
If you don't even try, then the
You'll
answer
never
is
know.
certainly no.
Yeah.
So I learned that we should always try.
Yeah, and you later finished your MBA at Yale University, but that is very different. It's of course one of the top school in the Ivy League. That is very different from the West Coast education that you receive as an undergraduate. How do you compare those two experiences?
Yeah, I think what you mentioned is very true because UCLA has 30,000 students,
That's
so
right.
it's like a big city.
Campus,
yeah,
yes.
so. But Yale, all programs only has 200, maybe 10 students.
Because it's very tough to get in.
Yeah, because I'm very good at taking exams.
No, you're too modest.
And so it actually is quite interesting how you get to interact and really learn from fellow class members as well as the professor. You have much more interaction. And what's interesting is I'm the youngest student in my class because I've been working only for 1 year and a half.
Okay,
and then
you apply for
and then I
business
applied
school.
for business school.
Okay.
And most people they work for 10 years
That's right.
or like 8 years, and then before they go into MBA. So I found that being the youngest member of my class, I learned a lot from the people who already have a lot of business experience. Yeah.
What was your undergraduate major?
I was actually, this is kind of an interesting story too. I started off majoring in aerospace engineering. Okay. Because I figure in the Southern California area there's a lot of defense companies, so I can get a job.
Okay.
But it turns out that for the subjects in that major, I had to study very hard and get very average grades.
Okay.
And for the rest, like economics or history, I get A's without studying.
Okay. So you're a natural.
Yeah,
in
natural
the
in those areas. So I decided to switch my major in my
terrific.
second year.
Okay.
So that actually, and I went into economics, and that freed me up for a lot of time to participate in the activities.
Yes.
Yeah, like Chinese Student Association or
terrific.
student activities.
Okay.
Right.
So you become more of a person, people-oriented person.
Yeah, I have to instead of just studying all the time, I have more experience.
And Gerard, would you also think that was the turning point in terms of, for you to make a personal, decision that business is going to be your career choice?
Yeah, I think so. Because at that time, my father was getting ready to introduce the Dale Carnegie training program to Taiwan.
To Taiwan, okay.
So he asked me to, actually he ordered me to take the program. Yeah, when I was in my summer.
Okay.
Yeah, in the summer for my freshman and sophomore year. So I took the program. And it really gave me the confidence to make that decision, to make the change, because I'm always, being an immigrant, I'm always worried about whether the job prospect is good for a non-engineering degree.
Very pragmatic.
Yeah, very pragmatic. But I decided to do that, and I figured that there's another way, another alternative is to take a lot of accounting classes.
Yes.
So even though the economics major is not so career oriented,
Exactly.
I can still, study a lot.
Gives you that background, that foundation.
Right, to do accounting.
Yeah.
Right.
Gerard mentioned the fact that he took a lot of accounting courses when he was an undergraduate at UCLA. We're going to come back after we take a short break. I'm going to ask him about his experience as a certified public accountant in the U.S. prior to taking over the Dale Carnegie training program here in Taiwan. We'll be back in 3 minutes.